And you're welcome back to the Christmas Day edition of Sister Sister. I'm calling it Sister Brother. We've been having a chat for the last 40 minutes or so. Let's jump into this. Another question here says, good evening, Jess. I have an extremely embarrassing problem and I honestly need your opinion on how to resolve it. I got married a few months ago. Before marriage, my husband and I were not having sex. After marriage, whenever we get into the act, he starts laughing uncontrollably. He claims it's never intentional and that even when he tries to hold it in, he still bursts out laughing. He says it's always been like that for him. To be honest, it's a total turn off for me. Could it be a form of disorder? Could I be the problem, but he's not comfortable to discuss it with me? We've hardly ever completed a session because I zone out. This situation is messing with my head. If there's no solution eventually, do you think I should just take a bow? After all, it's just been 4 months. I desperately need your help. What do you think I should do?
When they tell you to test you out.
Maybe I'll give you guys 3 minutes each to address this.
Let me start.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
Man needs to get counseling. He needs to see a specialist.
Something is wrong.
There's something wrong.
Maybe the way the woman is doing face.
No, something
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying.
Dude needs therapy.
He needs therapy. That's the best way to make this work. But she needs to approach this in a way that he doesn't feel like he's being insulted or something. Because not everybody accepts the fact that they need to go for therapy for something. Sure. So she needs to say that, look, this thing is worrying us. I think it will help our sex life if we're able to go see a therapist on this particular matter. But this also, goes to those who say, there's a big debate about premarital sex.
Yes.
Okay. If you had sampled, perhaps you would know by now that and you would have known how to address this. But here you are.
She wouldn't have addressed it.
She wants to get married.
So all I'm saying is, go there, see a counselor, see a therapist on this matter and solve the problem. I think it's a solvable problem.
But what's funny about sex? That's I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you never know where he's coming from. You never know
he
where.
Might be ticklish.
He might
be ticklish. And if we had that, don't do.
Well, okay, all right. You have any solutions for this lady?
Like Orphan is saying, it's therapy. He needs therapy. And you just need to be very cautious about how you go about it, like Godfrey was saying. Like, it's not everybody who can accommodate things like that. Like, why should I go and see a therapist?
Because I'm laughing during sex.
And I mean, look,
I can't laugh during sex anymore.
It's so bad. Like, men's egos, unfortunately, sometimes gets in the way. It's so bad that when a couple is trying to have a child and the conversation about fertility comes into the picture, it's almost as if it's the woman who is at fault. Literally all the time.
Yeah, true.
And it's like a surprise. It's the man who's actually at fault. So I just feel that you have to be very cautious about how you go about the conversation about therapy, but he needs therapy. You haven't complained about anything else about him. So I am guessing that he's a pretty good man to keep, but I think it's therapy. It stems from something deeper, and you need to figure out what it is and get him help.
This reminds me of the movie Joker. I don't know why.
Yeah, Jeff, I think we're looking at this situation from a very narrow perspective. So I did a little bit of research online, and I realized that there are lots of people who have all sorts of strange reactions when they're about to have an orgasm or after they have an orgasm. And surprise, surprise, one of them is laughter. Some of it is crying. Some of it is screaming. Some of it is uncontrollable spasms and all sorts of things. So we could be dealing with a perfectly natural reaction, which is brought on by just the way the guy's brain is wired. For some people, from what I read, it looks like the wiring of where the part of the brain that's responsible for giving them orgasms is also, surprise, surprise, wired closely to the part of the brain which makes him laugh. And this is what's going on, and there's nothing he can do about it. The same, I'm sure all of the guys here can relate to one point in their lives when they've had sex with somebody and the girl started crying either during or after. I can relate. So crying and laughter for me, it's not something that the guy is doing intentionally. His brain has been wired that way. It's a physiological thing where the wiring of his brain means that every time he's about to have an orgasm or he has an orgasm, he just laughs. And that's his way. That is just the way he's wired. It's a medical condition. He doesn't need counseling. He doesn't need help. It's for the woman to understand that potentially the way that maybe when she's enjoying it, she cries. He also laughs when he's enjoying it. So they have to deal. She just has to deal. This is what it is. There's no medication for it. It's just the way his brain is wired.
Okay.
No, but Alfie, like my challenge is, like if it was about orgasms, I could understand because we all have our ways.
Phil, do tell. The way you're
But
sounding.
what she says, he's never been able to complete the race.
Yeah, you see.
He hasn't even
No.
gotten to the point where he's crossing the line.
He has never been able to complete from the girl's perspective, because she gives up. But he completes. When he completes, he laughs. You know how men sometimes he finish quickly. The guy finished a long time when they laugh.
He's probably a 1 minute man. Shall I finish?
Whap him! I just said whap him. And no, wait.
Whap him, of course.
Chale, it's all good. Producer, do we have time for one more question? All right, 1 minute each. Okay, quick. So this is from a depressed young man. He says, I am 28 years old. I have a peculiar problem. I have a big manhood, and I know some men will be happy to own mine. But all the women I've been with express excruciating pain during sexual intercourse. I'm worried I may never get someone who can handle it.
He's not responsible. To whom much is given, much is expected. Now, the expectation is that when you are given a lot of power, you learn how to use the power.
Okay.
He is not being responsible in the use of the power.
Okay.
That's the problem.
All right.
It's not about them, the pain. No. Everybody has a threshold. That is something we all acknowledge. But when you are given that level of power, you need to manage the power.
It.
There are levels in which you can go. There are times, there are things you can do. There are extra accessories that you can bring into the picture. You have to take responsibility of the power that you've been given. Okay. You have a gift. Use it wisely.
All I was going to tell dude was, it's Christmas, man. Buy some lube.
That's all. Alfie.
Charlie, like Phil said, with this thing, there are two extremes. It's either too big or it's either too small. And the solution for both of them is the same. It's about how you use it. So if it's too big, please manage it. Don't try and stuff everything in there.
Stop.
I would say, you have to be able to choose positions which minimize the impact of the instrument. Do you understand? If it's too short, there are also positions that can also maximize the impact of the instrument. So go and get some training. I'm not sure where, but even do some research and try and understand your size and the implications that your size will have on different women, and try and manage yourself properly, my brother.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a topic I have no comments on. Yes. So, in the Christmas spirits, I shall bring this show to an end. It's been awesome, guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely loved your company, and I hope if you're home and you're watching this or listening to it on radio, you loved it as well. Well, we'll be back definitely with a New Year's edition of this show before it wraps up completely, so definitely look out for it. A big thank you to our sponsors, though. Vodafone, Together We Can, Kelkid's Toothpaste, Happy Smiles, and Talia Rice for another exciting edition of Sister Sister. Phil, Merry Christmas.
Totally. Merry Christmas.
Godfrey, Merry Christmas. Alfie, lots of
Merry
love
Christmas,
to you.
guys.
And to our listeners as well and viewers, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Good night.